All right, let's talk about building trust. And not just building it, but building it fast. We're going to break down a really simple but incredibly powerful system that can transform pretty much any conversation you have, whether that's with a colleague, a client, or, even just a friend. It all comes down to changing the way you listen. I mean, we've all been there, right? You're trying to explain something that's really important to you, and you can just tell that the person across from you is somewhere else. Their mind is a million miles away. They're not with you. And honestly, it's one of the most frustrating feelings in the world. There's actually a perfect word for this phenomenon: reloading. It just captures the problem so well. See, instead of actually hearing what you're saying, the other person is just in their own head, reloading their own stories, their own arguments, just waiting for the tiniest pause so they can jump in. And this reloading problem, well, it's the fundamental reason so many of our conversations feel disconnected. So understanding why we do it is really the first step to fixing it and building that genuine connection that I think we're all looking for. When you really look at it, it boils down to two totally different mindsets. Typical listening, that's just reloading. The goal is just to reply, you're waiting for your turn, thinking about your story. But with active listening, the goal shifts completely. It's not about what you're going to say next. It's about understanding them. And this is the really important part, proving to them that you get it. So how do we actually make that shift? How do we go from reloading to really, truly listening? Well, it's not about just trying harder. It's a skill. And just like any other skill, there are specific tools you can learn to use. So let's open up the toolkit. The great thing is the system is beautifully simple. It's really built on just two core techniques. First up is paraphrasing. This is all about getting the what, the actual substance of what they're saying. And then second, there's emotional labeling. This gets to the how, the feeling behind all those words. Okay, let's start with that first tool, the one that really builds the foundation, paraphrasing. This is the most direct way you can show someone, hey, I'm not just reloading here, I'm actually with you. I hear you. Now, here's the most important thing to remember. This is not about being a parrot. You're not just mindlessly repeating their exact words back to them. The whole point is that you process what they said and then summarize it in your own words. That's the proof. That's what shows you actually understood it. And just look how simple this is in practice. Instead of jumping in with a solution or telling your own story about a stressful deadline, you just reflect the core issue back. So, if I'm understanding you, that simple act is so powerful. It makes the other person feel completely heard. All right, so once you've gotten a handle on the what with paraphrasing, you can go a level deeper. And that brings us to our second tool, emotional labeling. This right here is where that real, genuine connection starts to form. This goes way beyond just the facts and the logic of the situation. Emotional labeling is about listening for the feeling that's bubbling underneath their story. You're not just hearing their words, you're trying to understand their heart. It's about showing empathy in a really direct, obvious way. Just think about this for a second. Imagine someone just told you a long, frustrating story about a meeting at work. Now, you could paraphrase the facts of the meeting, or you could label the emotion, which is way more powerful. Saying something like, wow, it sounds like you felt really unappreciated, that gets to the absolute core of the issue for them. It is incredibly validating. So, okay, we have these two amazing tools, right? Paraphrasing and emotional labeling. But here's the thing. You can do both of them perfectly and still completely fail to build trust if one critical element is missing. So what's the secret ingredient? What's the one thing that holds this whole system together? This brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. The true architecture of trust isn't really a technique you use, but an environment you create. It all comes down to creating a sense of safety. This is it. This is the foundation. Safety. I mean, think about it. Without safety, why would anyone ever open up? Why would they ever let themselves be vulnerable? Our brains are literally wired to protect us. If a conversation feels judgmental or threatening, our guard goes up instantly. And no amount of clever paraphrasing is going to get through that wall. Trust simply cannot exist without safety. And we're not talking about physical safety, obviously. We're talking about psychological safety. It's that feeling that lets someone share what they're really thinking, to be honest and vulnerable, without any fear that they're going to be judged or interrupted or shut down. When you create that space for someone, they stop reloading and they start truly communicating. It's the fertile ground where our other tools can actually grow. So how do you create it?
Well, here's the good news. It's often done with the absolute smallest actions, things that are called minimal encouragers. These are the tiny, almost subconscious signals we send that tell someone, I'm here, I'm listening, it is safe for you to keep going. A simple nod, a quiet an I see. These little things can do more to build safety than 100 perfectly crafted words.
So that's the whole architecture. It's so simple. You start by creating a foundation of safety, using those little signals that say keep going. On top of that foundation, you build understanding of the what by paraphrasing their words. And finally, you connect with the how by labeling their emotions. Safety, paraphrasing, labeling. That's the system. So, the only question left is whose trust will you earn first?